Hello, star seeds, light workers, light warriors, light beings of all types. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Heart of Inspiration, and I'm here for your weekly messages for the week of June 3rd through June the 9th. This is the light worker messages for June 3rd through June 9th. I've already laid out, we're beginning with the Star Seed Oracle deck. If we need any clarifications, we'll go to the Sacred Destiny, but the majority of these messages are indeed going to be channeled. Okay, so let's just get right into it, and we're going to start off with Aries. Now, Aries, you have the card, you are not alone. Okay? Isolation, physical connection, and community. You are not alone. We're going to lift that up just a little bit here for you all. You are not alone. Listen, Aries, I know that typically what we find, especially with Aries, right? You guys move so quickly. You move so fast. You're the beginning of the zodiac. So you initiate like all the passion and all of the energy and the ideas, and you feel like you're the only person that ever really gets it. You feel like you're the only person that gets it, right? And you feel like a lot of times, this is for Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising, that you are alone in a lot of cases. But what this is letting you know with this Starseed card, especially during this time, during this week, guys, we're going to be having a full lunar eclipse, a full moon lunar eclipse, right, in Sagittarius. And that is really a lot of assessing who we are, what we are, how we feel, why we feel, looking back at our childhood, looking back at what everyone has said that we are, all this stuff, like really reassessing our lives and then resetting ourselves as we come into the new moon a little bit later on in June, okay, which is then the annual solar eclipse at the summer equinox. So there is a lot to be said this week for remembering you're not alone. Don't just kind of retreat and feel isolated. If you are feeling isolated, if you're feeling like you're out on an island, I need you to reconnect. I need you to connect with your soul tribe. I need you to connect with people that understand you. I need you to connect with people that grasp your vision. And if for some reason there are people in your life that are not grasping your vision, right, and they're not for you, so to speak, or they just don't get you right now this week, Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising, it is completely all right for you to simply say, I can't do it right now. I can't do this week. Some of you have probably been disconnecting already because it's much harder to deal with doubt, fear, what have you, and someone kind of always being a Debbie Downer. It's more difficult to deal with people. A lot of times we find that, as much as we want to help others, but we have this vision for ourselves. And if they can't share that vision with you and they can't uphold you and they can't lift you up in this and they can't support you in it, then again, it's like, you just don't get me. Like I hear so many of the Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising saying, you just don't get me. And you're right, light worker, light warrior, star seed, you are right. They don't get you. They're not from the same area. They don't get you. It's okay. But there are those of us that do get you. So please reconnect with your soul tribe, with your soul family. Please reconnect with your spirit guides. Please reconnect with your angels, your ancestors. Just reconnect with the spirit realm and know that what you're doing is absolutely, you're on the right path. Even though this is a very difficult path, it's still the right one. So just know that you're there and you're not alone. Okay, because the moment we feel completely alone and completely unsupported, then we kind of veer off the path because then we want to blaze a trail. So this is a solo path, but you're not alone on the path. All right? Taurus. Oh, goodness. Trust The timing, Taurus. Trust the timing. Okay, Taurus, trust the timing. Trust the wave you came in on. Time is not running out. You know, with the way that time feels right now, Taurus, the way that time feels right now, it feels like it's just getting away from us, doesn't it? It honestly feels like it's getting away from us. It feels like, oh, you see my feet down there. It feels like we're just like literally running out of time on a regular basis. Like 2020 is gone already, you know what I mean? And it feels like you're not going to be able to fulfill everything that you've wanted to fulfill towards sun, moon, and rising. But nothing could be further from the case. You have to trust that things are happening in the timing and in the way that they're meant to happen. Nothing happens too early. Okay, when we rush it, that's when we're out of sync with energies, when we're out of sync with divine timing, when we're out of sync with our own divine timing. So you need to trust your own divine timing. You need to trust that your divinity, who you are, right? God send, who you are, your God being, knows when the right moment is to move, when the right moment is to fall back towards sun, moon, and rising. And it seems as if it's not going to move fast enough. But I'm telling you, if you take too far steps ahead, if you go too fast, then you're going to miss a critical piece of information along the way that was going to help you and ensure success of the mission. It seems, you know, everything around us, it seems like, oh my gosh, why is this happening now? Why aren't people taking a greater interest? Or why aren't people more motivated to change? Or why aren't people, you know, there's all these why aren't people doing certain things, right? Why aren't they? Why aren't they coming to help? Why aren't they? Why aren't we seeing and understanding that this is like a spiritual war? Why aren't we seeing and understanding that this is a crossroads for humanity? Why aren't we seeing and understanding that, you know, we've got to, I don't know, like rise above, earn our own money or get back to work or whatever it is, right, that you're feeling? Why aren't we? Why isn't anybody listening to you? Why aren't we? But it's not the right time for everybody to like understand and fall into place. Some people, they've got to see it to believe it. But you have to trust that you are in the right place at the right time. You are seeing things for exactly what they're supposed to be so that you can focus your energy and your intention in the exact right way, in the right direction. Otherwise, it all goes to you know what in the handbasket. That all of this hard work and all of this change you've endured and all of this revolution and rebellion, like this is very personalized revolution and rebellion we are experiencing. This is very personal. In order for us to break free from the current consciousness and create the new consciousness and more people to do so, it is very rebellious, right? It is just, I don't want to say violent because it isn't, but it's just like sudden, right? It is revolutionary. And all revolutions take time. There's a spark, it hits a powder keg, and then the fire begins to go. So you're part of this great awakening. You're part of the move. You're not going to miss the boat. Don't worry about it. You got to trust your timing, trust your gut, trust your intuition. Definitely follow your intuition coming into this week and release old limiting beliefs, release old ideas, and really decide that you're going to ascend into your highest self. That is so critically important. Gemini, still your birthday month. Star brothers, well, this is just perfect for you guys. Horus energy, protection, loyalty, safety, and trust. Gemini, you are being kept safe. You are being kept safe. Your twin, right, Star brothers, you have this masculine, divine masculine energy that's enveloping you and keeping you safe and delivering you from harm into light, if you will, from dark into light. Right? That horse energy is energy from the sun. That's horse energy is energy. It's kind of like Taurus is also representative, well, yes, of the sun, but that was also kind of like the messianic figure. So it's like this rebirth that you're having, this evolution that you're going through during this birthday month. You know, it's very, very important. Let me just grab this card. Loyalty, safety, and trust. It's very important that you recognize and remain loyal to the people that have been there for you. And I mean really there for you, not just there for you in a way, not just there for you from time to time, but really, really, really there for you. Okay? So it's super important that you recognize that. And it's very important that you be loyal to yourself as well. Trust yourself, be loyal to yourself, trust your higher self, trust your intuition. I keep hearing just in general for the collective in general, and we'll do a collective reading here, but like this is a week, if there was never a week for us to truly trust our highest being, this is the week to trust our highest being. If there was never a week for us to really, and especially you Gemini, for you to really ascend, for you to really, in your meditation time, put down the evil twin, if you will, right? And be more accepting of incoming energy, that's very important here. So we have to accept the incoming energy and incoming downloads. There's a questioning, yes, but there's also just a trusting. Just stop asking these consistent and constant question of, well, why is this? And why is that? And why is this? And why is that? And overthinking things and thinking things within ego. Like that's so important. Like stop thinking of things in ego as well. Yeah, I hear some of you are trusting more in your ego and your intellect than you are in what's coming through spiritually. You have to learn to trust your spirit self. That is more trustworthy than your ego is. Your ego is fickle because your ego will stop you from doing certain things that you're meant to do. Your ego will stop you. Your ego will just like put the kibosh on it and be like, well, no, we can't do that. That's not going to work. Or we can't do that. That person's not going to be there for us. Like you have to be there for yourself. So start trusting your higher self and start trusting the messages that a lot of you are getting. A lot of you are getting messages from your star brothers. A lot of you are getting messages from, these could be your spirit guides, this could be your angels, your ancestors or whatnot, but these are, energies and entities from higher dimensions that are speaking to you. Some of you, I imagine, are hearing from the Pleiadians, the Atlanteans, the Sirians. Some of you are hearing from those higher beings. So recognize that and allow it to happen because you all are the great communicators and you all are the great inspirers. Like you guys are so charismatic, Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. You can inspire people to do great things. And so we need for you to listen to that kind of, that messianic consciousness energy of love within oneself and completion within oneself and understanding and ascending to God status, divine status. Not saying that you're supreme source, not saying that we ever get to that point. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is understanding our divinity as it exists within us. I hope that makes sense. Okay, Cancer. Very typical. You got the love, Hadarian energy, codependency, boundaries. You got the love. Listen. Listen, Linda. Cancer. There's been this huge weight that's been on you now for months, and it's going to weigh even heavier on you this week as we begin to come into our season. That Hadarian energy is love of everyone, right? It's love of the earth, it's love of people, it's love of humanity, it's love, 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 love. It's beautiful, love, 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 love. That's wonderful. It's great. It's grand. However, you've been allowing other entities to become codependent on you. You're not setting proper boundaries. It's very apparent. The problem when you don't set the proper boundaries is you can't participate in the energetic fight, if you will, in the energetic energies, in the energetic move that's happening properly, because you're so busy like handling all the little fires that you can't help fight the big fire, right? That is problematic. That is problematic. So, Cancer. Yes, you have all the love, and at the end of, not all of it, but we're very loving and we're very maternal and we're very nurturing, and there's a place for that. There's becoming an even greater place for that at this moment in time. Because as people come into the Great Awakening, right? They're going to need to have a place to come and call home. They're going to need to have some people to come to be like, I get it, I understand it, we're going to nurture you, we're going to grow you, we're going to, do all these wonderful things. I get that. That's definitely true. And they're going to need healing. But we cannot just like willy-nilly be allowing them to be codependent. We can't. We can't allow them to depend on us and to depend on our nurturing. Like, at some point you have to cut the apron strings, So there's more globally, there's more people, there's more spirits that need our love and our maternal, nurturing, nesting, yet guiding light. And we can't get too bogged down in our emotions right now. We can't get so bogged down on our emotions that we're just no good to the collective. So as much as we need to assist individuals, we also have to understand that we also need to be here for the collective consciousness. And most importantly, please take time for yourself. I'm also hearing Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Some of you are not taking time for yourselves. That might be me. I'm just kidding. But some of you might not be. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to say, I can't. I'm done with it today. But be sure you're meditating in the morning and try to very much meditate at night as well. Be sure you're doing your Epsom salt baths. Be sure you have your incense. Be sure you've got water like around you. Like, that's one thing I've been doing is now I'm starting to have like water fountains all around, because that water is calming, it's soothing, and it helps us, especially Cancer, being the cardinal water sign. It really helps us stay in tune spiritually. Okay, so take some time for yourself. Okay, Cancer? All right, we are going to move these cards. And then we're going to start with the next four. Okay. All right. Next up is Leo. Leo, I have breath of the cosmos, my will to thy will, micromanaging the universe. So that's two different messages within the same card. Breath of the cosmos, my will to thy will, micromanaging the universe. Listen, Leo, I know that you are just really pushing, and you should be, like, you're really active and you're really motivated and you are so ready, being that fixed sun. You've made the fixed fire, you've made the decision. This is the direction I'm going, and this is the direction we all should go. So let's all go this way. And you're just like heading out that way. Like, you're just like, boom. And that is awesome. Because the universe is also saying, my will, or your higher self is saying, my will to thy will. In other words, you are literally putting out the will of higher being, source energy, some of you, out into the cosmos with a beautiful divine masculine energy that is loving, understanding, and fertilizing. It's fertilizing, right? So all this, like, this great awakening that's happening, you're a significant part of it, because you're like helping to fuel that energy and helping to germinate the seeds that have been long since planted. However, please don't start micromanaging the universe. Please don't get so bogged down in being fixed. Like, everybody needs to get to this passion, right? Everybody of course needs to understand me. I need to be seen. I need to be heard. I need you to see me and hear me. And I need you to come to my way of thinking. No. Or universe, or source. You see this for like a week. So I'm ready now for everything else to, manifest. No. I could have pulled that timing card for you. It's all about the timing too. Like, sometimes we have to understand that we don't always get we don't always receive the manifestations precisely the way that we want to. Because still, we're in our third dimensional being. As much as we're in contact with our higher dimensional self, as much as you're a dual citizen, there is and always will be, as long as you are alive in human form on this earth, there will always be a portion of us that can't fully see and doesn't fully hear. Why? Because we are still constrained. We are still third dimensional, and that's part of the human experience. And you wouldn't have it any other way, because you chose to come here and have that. So you cannot micromanage the universe. You have to let go. So you're on the right path, and now you're speaking out the things that you should, and you're shining that light, Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. You're shining that light to people, and you are helping to create a beautiful new collective consciousness. But some of you are so flipping frustrated with the fact that either there's been some people that have been around you before, and now, you ascertained, or you figured out that they just weren't what they claimed to be, right? They let you down. In some cases, they basically tried to sabotage you. So that's some Leos. In some Leos cases, it's you're with a group of people, but you're still not sure if you can trust them, or you're just trying to, like, get them to, Leos, I know you guys love to be loved, right? So you're just trying to get these people to kind of see you, right? And for others, it's just like, well, I know this is just the way. I am the way, the truth, and the life, right? Like, I know this is the way, so just follow me. Just because I said, right? So it can't, but all of those are because you see this wonderful, beautiful end, right? You see this wonderful, beautiful manifestation, this life that you desire, and you see this kind of global life, some of you, that you desire, and you should see that for the collective consciousness. I greatly appreciate that. Spirit greatly appreciates that. However, it cannot come in the exact way that you want it. So you got to do a few things. You got to let go of those people that tried to sabotage you. Forgive those that despitefully use you. Right? First of all. Second of all, just accept that you know, when you put out a seed, that's that. Don't try to be so bossy, because again, that's micromanaging the universe. Just be, just in you being, your gifts will make room for you. So you don't have to keep fighting to be seen. You just shine your light. Like, we know the sun is there and we know what the sun can do for us. We don't need the sun to continually like send us messages saying, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. I'm going to make your crops grow. I'm going to make you grow. I'm going to give you vitamin D. Like, we don't need that, right? Because the sun is the sun. The sun just exists. So when you exist, your light shines and your gifts will make room for you and people will see your light. Okay? You've got to do that. All comes in due time. All comes in due time. All right? Okay, Leo, let me get up off of you guys. We're going to move on to Virgo, sun, moon, and rising. Virgo, loosen your grip. Coping mechanisms, density, addiction, let God in. Virgo, are you planning just a little bit too much? Sun, moon, and rising. Is all of this just a little bit this very heavy? You know, I know there's a lot of negativity. There's a lot of like hurt, pain. Yeah, it's not very healthy, is it, Virgo? And so because it's not very healthy and not very nurturing, you being yet that kind of embodiment of that. I almost just kind of said Virgin Mary, but I guess it's it, right? You being that embodiment of that earth energy, maternal earth energy. You want everything in its order, right? Because everything is in the earth in all actuality. Everything has its time and its season and its place. It happens when it's supposed to. So therefore, you know, there's an order to things. And even in chaos, there's honestly an order. So it feels chaotic, perhaps, like, you know, okay, well, we're going to plant some seeds and everything, and we're going to plant them in the ground. We're going to cover it up. And it seems like, well, there's nothing really happening. But underneath that surface, there's so much happening as the rain comes and the sun and so on and so on. And the seed germinates and yada, yada, yada. And then, you know, it begins to bud up. And then eventually we can harvest it. But there's a plan for everything. But if I feel like some of you, Virgo, sun, moon, and rising, light workers and star seeds, you're really just like, again, you're kind of micromanaging. You got to loosen up and trust that divine will do what divine will do. The divine will win. The divine will work out. That it will work out. Because if you keep planning and planning, like there is a certain amount of planning we should do, because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right? However, that plan can come to you in a multitude of ways. That plan should come to you, right, through crown chakra, through your higher self. Like that's how the plan should come to you. But when you don't see, when you've like enacted the higher plan and then you don't see it happening third dimensionally, the problem is, right, what do we do then? We rush in and take it over, and we have to readjust the plan. And the more times you readjust the plan, the more times now the universe has to reset and redirect, because there was a path that this was going to go down, and now you've redirected over here, so now it's got to go all the way around, and maybe we can't even get to that other end. We will eventually, but it's going to be a much longer track. So I really feel very strongly you've got to let God and trust that source has your back, and trust that source is going to bring you the resources in order to accomplish this plan. Okay? And planning can become, you can get analysis paralysis, and planning can become addicting, and the control can become addicting. So really loosen that grip on that, okay? And let God in, because we need you for other purposes. All zodiac signs, you know, have a specific purpose, And we have different roles to play. All light workers, all star seeds, all light warriors, all teachers, we all have a separate role to play, but yet it's separate, but yet it's conjunct, right? So do some soul searching during this full moon week and release your grip on your control and allow your higher self to take over and be comfortable in that, in your higher self controlling, and don't like live in your mind so much. Okay, moving on to Libra, Earth School, life lessons, soul growth, study, higher learning. Wow. Okay, Libra, this week is it's a lesson week for you, Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising, light workers, and star seeds. It's the sun. It's a learning week for you. School is in session. Holy cats. Wow. School's in session. So this is a life lesson. There's been some, now I'm going to say on a mundane level, I feel like Libra, the life lessons that some of you are going to be learning and disseminating are really about like a cultural, global life karmic lesson of the need for there to be justice and there to be balance, that you're bringing the balance. For some, that's going to feel, not for some Libras, but for others of us, it's going to feel like the Libras are bringing the pain. Right? Most of us hopefully won't feel that way. But some of us may. Some of us may feel that way. So for some of you personally, this is really life lesson time. This is like, hey, listen, gonna remind you of some things, and can we just kind of release this once and for all? And for some of you, it's finally letting go of some of the hurt, pain, and disappointments that you've had in other people. Why? So that for the sole purpose of you being able to fully shake that off and take that out of your scales. Because if you continue to hold on to that negative energy, it's just going to fester and it's just going to grow. Whatever you put your intention towards grows. Your attention and your intention. So when you put your attention to certain things, that is really you putting your intention towards those things. So this is about learning the earth lessons. This is not this week. This is not about like, do higher self, right? This is like clearing some of this energy in your lower three chakras. This is about perhaps if you're like opening a new business or doing a new thing or getting, within your existing business, or perhaps getting in, looking for a new career or trying to decide what to go to school for or major in school. If you're going to go to school, maybe moving, things of that nature. This is all about you studying it thoroughly, weighing it all in the balance, and being very earthy about it, like being very, very practical about it. Not so airy. Make sure that you're in balance in each case. And I really feel like as you purge some of these issues, and residual energies that are in your lower three chakras, man, the level of upper chakra growth, and then just the foundational strength and growth that you're going to experience is pretty tremendous. All right, Scorpio. You're not for everyone, Scorpio. Embrace your weirdness and face your true north. Oh my God. This week, Scorpio. Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising. Yeah, not for everybody. You are an acquired taste, and we love you for that. But you know what? Like, just embrace it. The rest of us will. And you know what? Those of us that don't acquire the taste, well, we just don't. But don't try too hard to like be, I feel like also some of you guys are putting the world's expectations on your shoulders, and that's not where that belongs. It's not where that belongs. Like, you walk to the beat of your own drum. That's just fact. You walk to the beat of your own drum. So stop trying to fight it. It is what it is. Point blank, period. Period, poo. So just embrace that. Yes, but also understand that, yes, you're not for everyone. But also understand that because you're not for everyone, some people, even though you feel like they really should understand you, they might not. And try not to be so harsh on them for not understanding you. Okay? So while you need to embrace that uniqueness about you and embrace your unique ways and your unique abilities and your unique way of looking at things and your unique sun, moon, and rising, very unique ability to see within, deep within someone's soul, man, and understand what their actual motivations are, that can be unsettling and unnerving to most. So deliver it with a little easier tongue than normal, okay? But also put it to the global use as well, right? So you're probably you're gonna run into some people that may or may not accept you this week, and just remember, yeah, whatever it is, what it is. Again, this is a week of releasing and embracing who we are from childhood on. Okay? Releasing the negativity and embracing the positive of who we are from childhood on. And how we look and think and network and who we're with and who is our group and who is our tribe. All right. That's that for. We're down the home stretch now, guys. Here we go. Capricorn. Your life is a canvas. Artist, manifestation, creative accountability. Capricorn, your life is a canvas. What have you painted on your canvas? What are you painting this week? What have you painted and what are you painting? Right? What are you painting? What are you creating? What are you manifesting? You are responsible for your picture. You are responsible for your life. You are responsible for your own outcomes. No one else. You can't blame everybody else for what your outcomes are or have been. Just like not everybody else can take credit for it either. You manifested the good and you manifested the bad. So the question then becomes, what are you going to do about it, right? Are you, the question becomes, are you going to take responsibility because you have the ability to respond to it in a different way? You have the ability to respond. If it's not what you want, then change it. But remember that this is of your own creation. This monster was of your own creation. No one else created it for you. Now, this could be a beautiful monster, right? And so kudos to you for creating a beautiful scenario and a beautiful life for yourself. And you'll continue to do that this week if that's the path that you're on. But your life is a canvas and you have to be accountable for what you've been creating. And if what you've been creating is good and abundant, like in a positive way, then keep doing what you're doing and keep taking accountability and responsibility, because the more you do take that accountability and responsibility, and remember, life doesn't happen to you happen to it, then the greater the blessings become. Okay, light workers? So continue to shine the light, because you are responsible not only for your own manifestation, but there's a level of, I don't know, I feel like there's this level of creativity and fertility and being head first and headstrong in and resolute in the direction we are going to go as a human race that is really innate within you. And it's really important that you, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising, operate in that fashion. Like, as you guys ascend, so the rest of humanity. Like, there's a portion, a bit, really significant portion of that, because you're our foundation, right? You're that foundation that gets laid well before anything ever blooms. Saturn rules you. So we have to have our foundation in good standing and healthy and solid, yet flexible enough to allow for the fluid growth of the collective consciousness. Oh my God, that I said that all was Capricorn, and that was, so I'm going to switch this. Okay, we're going to switch it. Lord, help me, help me. Okay, Sagittarius. Wow, Sagittarius, the great severing. Mars energy, anger, conflict, softening to love. Sag, this is a difficult week for you. Right? The lunar eclipse is in your sign on the 5th. You're seeing things and seeing people while Mars is squaring the sun and Mars is squaring Venus in retrograde. Yeah, this is definitely you. Wow, guys, thanks for understanding. There's a lot of people this week, light workers and starseeds, Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising, that are going to fall away from you. That you're going to need to sever ties from. And maybe you've already done that. And if you've already been doing that, then this week you become comfortable with it. This week it becomes like, yep, I understand why. This week I get it. And I'm not only am I comfortable with it and I'm accepting of it, I'm going to allow my new, less weighed down self, I'm going to allow that to integrate into my being. And finally accept it. So allow yourself, though, to feel the anger, the conflict, and all of that. And I'll tell you why. Because it's cathartic. You need to see, why are you angry with these people? Why did this happen? Why? Like, what was it in you that attracted them and attracted that energy and attracted that behavior, so that you can heal and then move forward and you don't attract it anymore. Like, learn the lesson. The shadow doesn't ever really go away, right? Because there's always shadow where there's light. But you learn how to deal with it in a different way, and it doesn't become an area that can be targeted. That's how we embrace it, and we heal, and then we go on. Like, there's certain things about me I know that are always going to be there, but it doesn't hit the same anymore because I've healed it. I've healed the injuries that came from it. I've embraced that there are some things that pop off sometimes, and sometimes I'm not the best friend. Sometimes I lose touch with people, and sometimes I have poor time management, and sometimes there's a lot of things that sometimes I miss deadlines. Sometimes I miss. But that's part of who I am. And people can't hold that over my head. Right? So, but it's okay to go through the anger, especially when someone's hurt you, and it's okay. It's all right. Feel it. You have to feel it so you can clear that energy, and then learn to kind of accept the duality of humanity, right? But heal that energy, release it so that you can move forward, and now there's space for really healthy, positive interactions and relationships. Okay, Sag? Heal, release, manifest positivity. Okay, Aquarius, water in your garden, nourishment, body care, tenderness, and rest. Aquarius, I feel like you need to take some time this week to really regroup, right? You got Saturn in retrograde, leaving your sign temporarily. It's a temporary retrograde, right? It was nice to have Saturn there. There was a lot of empowerment, and now you're kind of exhausted because we weren't fully ready yet. It wasn't fully time yet for the whole change to happen. Right? It wasn't time. It wasn't time for the new technology. It wasn't time for the new way of thinking, and right? It wasn't quite time. It's not quite time yet. We're almost there. But I feel like you're already exhausted. Lightworkers, star seeds, Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising, you're already exhausted. And we haven't even begun. You really haven't even begun your work. So, yeah. Regroup in this full moon week, especially, so on the 5th especially. If you can, if it's good weather, sit out under the moon as it's getting fuller and fuller, and allow that beautiful feminine moon energy to rejuvenate you. Set your crystals out. I usually don't say that, but set your crystals out. Even set some water out in the moon and allow that to kind of soak in that energy. I know a lot of you are into that kind of thing, just in general. I'm not a huge one for that, but sometimes I think it's kind of cool to just do that and let it soak up that energy and put your intentions into that energy as well. That's like a healing, blessed, very feminine, very relaxing energy. So, take some lavender baths, some frankincense baths, some myrrh, but really love on yourself and relax this week. And allow spirit to really rejuvenate you as well. Allow source, allow spirit to come in and rejuvenate and love on you, because that's truly what source wants to do, right? Just absolutely love on you. All right, last but certainly not least, Pisces. Oh, Pisces, karmic relationships, Orion energy, polarity, soul growth, and conflict. Karmic relationships, Orion energy. Woo, that almost got away from me. Polarity, soul growth, and conflict. Listen, out of conflict comes resolution. Out of conflict comes growth. Not all karmic relationships are bad. And in fact, what I do, if we can identify them, what I love about karmic relationships is that they teach us a lot, right? They clear the karma, or they give us good karma, right? We rack up good karma. Some karmic relationships are destiny, right? Good destiny, like in forward movement. Some are for us to clear past life issues. And some just really aren't that healthy for us. Yeah, this full moon week is a lot of that soul searching for you. It's recognizing which were good karmic, which were bad karmic relationships. It's recognizing that perhaps there are some relationships that are really here to teach you something in a very positive way, and you need to cultivate and grow those. It's also accepting there's good and there's bad, there's light and there's dark, and not running from it. It's accepting that karma flows, that karma is an entity, that karma is an energy. It's accepting that while it is uncomfortable sometimes to clear karma, and it is uncomfortable to go through things, it is a necessary part of humanity so that we can truly learn what we came here to learn in the first place and not run from it. You know, each time you go through, especially you're clearing some karma, each time you go through that, you get lighter and lighter, like more and more burdens, more and more chains, more and more like bad tethers just kind of begin to fall away. And you understand more and more, Lightworker and Light Warrior, Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. You begin to understand at a really deep level the duality of humanity, and that the duality of just life as it is here in the third dimension, period. And because you begin to understand the duality and you see the polarity, you also begin to have some conscious compassion for it. And you also begin to have a very conscious understanding of it. And then you can have a conscious understanding of how we're shifting the polarity and your part in helping to shift that through that dream, aspiration, right? Flexible state. That very higher self, higher knowledge, higher understanding, higher sight, like seeing the impossible through those eyes, because that's really where we're shifting the polarity to. So embrace this. And I know it's not easy. And I know you don't like conflict, but sometimes you got to go through a little conflict in order to get to a higher resolution. Okay, those are those 4 cards. We're going to pull a very quick Sacred Destiny card for the collective. Let's do one for the collective. Oh, this is beautiful for the entire collective. New beginnings. New beginnings for the entire collective. And this I will read from the book. Radiant sunrise. The sun is the most profound symbol of life itself, large enough to fit 1 million Earths inside it. In ancient cultures, the largeness of the rising sun represented hope and the understanding that life begins again, fresh and new. Responsible for the climate and weather of the earth, it is the symbol of birth and rebirth. It can also represent resurrection, and at a time of profound awakening, it symbolizes the end of darkness and the beginning of light, and an initiation of a whole new cycle. That is so profound for the collective, because that's truly the cycle we're in right now. So the sun does come out. We are ending a cycle and beginning a completely new cycle. It is the darkest before the dawn, but the new beginnings are on their way. It is a time of birth and rebirth. It is the time of the resetting of time. At some point, they will call this time we're in the time before time, because it is truly resetting and we are a part of it. Okay? All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. I very appreciate it. And consider becoming a member. You can find that information down below. Also visit my website, www.heartofinspiration.net, if you like this type of content and you would like more of it, as well as an opportunity to work with me one-on-one. Peace, love, blessings, and joy be unto you today, tomorrow, and for all eternity. I love you. Namaste. Bye-bye.